So today I want to talk about a little bit different topic. So I made a list. I made an agenda. I made an agenda. As in English, it's called an agenda. And this agenda is here on my phone, and it displays all of the things I do in a day. And I call this the 1 week, 1 life agenda, which means that the week is a representation of my life. The week is a representation of my whole life, which means I want to put everything in this 1 week. So when I look at this week, as my whole life, I look at it as a in a grateful way. I look at it and I be happy, which means in this 1 week should be everything, so I can die happily. Like for example, if this week here I'm currently in, like today is Monday, if this week ends at Sunday, I should be fine with dying because I did everything that I wanted to do. I did, and I went to the 100%. I went 120%, and I did everything to make this week like make something out of my life, and to experience and to acknowledge all of the and to share and to experience the variety of this whole world. So the easiest would be to begin at the start. Right. What? To begin at the morning, and by the time I wake up. So what's the time I actually wake up? So on my agenda it stands 5 a.m., which is actually not true, unfortunately. Rather, I go by feelings, which means that I do not wake up. So there's this thing called the circadian rhythm, which just simply means that if the sun rises up, we should stand up. And if the sun rises down and the moon rises up and it's getting dark outside slowly and you recognize this, we we do not only naturally get sleepy and want to sleep, but we also should go to sleep, to live and to sleep, and to live and sleep and be awake at the circadian rhythm, which actually boosts our energy levels of the day. And this is, if we want to maximize our output, if we want to maximize the quality of our work, we should, and this is like, it's somehow according to science, but somehow I do not give a lot about this, because there are a lot of contradictions, which means one study shows that and one study shows the other way around. Like this hard to rely fully on someone else's experiences and someone else's studies. So I made it that way, that I just like I try things out. I try things out and I go by the results that I'm getting. So this is like how I recreate a study by myself, for myself. So I figured out that if I sleep according to the circadian rhythm, which is much more earlier than other people nowadays, and it goes like in again in the opposite way of the trend which is going on right now, where usually people don't get sleepy because of the light they're shining into their eyes, which is another big topic where you can do a lot of things which could essentially help this and prevent you from not getting sleepy when it's getting dark outside, which is actually the body. Like if you didn't recognize this, the body and the mind, you naturally get sleepy if it's dark outside. But what does this mechanism distract? It's your fucking phone. And it's of course these lights. It's these it's uh e- these lights here, right? These lights. These lights are actually preventing you from getting sleepy, which means if it's dark outside, you naturally go to this um to this flip, and you switch to flip. So this light go on. But what you actually are doing in this moment is preventing yourself from getting sleepy because of the light which is shining into your eyes, which is an superficial light, a superficial sun, which distracts your circadian rhythm, which also in itself motivates the fact that on the next day you're so distracted from the circadian rhythm that your energy levels are lower the next day. Of course, there are thousands and trillions, a myriad, in German you say a myriad of things which could potentially do harm to your circadian rhythm. And I just wanted to express that out. Like, if you're conscious about this fact, you're much more conscious about how you are organizing your evening. And in the evening, I think this is the most important part of of your sleep. How you go into the sleep, how is the introduction to that sleep, and how does this result on the next day, how does this result in the energy levels for the next day, right? So there are also a thing called like red bulbs if you do not want to sleep completely accordingly, because you can't, because you have a job where you do not where you're not able to find your way around in your house without light. This also is there's an alternative for that. You can use red light bulbs, right? These bulbs you're screwing into these lights over here at the top of your ceiling. This is also a tip I could give, and like there are many more. Let me search for them. Yeah, be aware. I have much more tips for you. So the first point would be that you should keep your temperature on 16 to 18 degrees, because this is the perfect room temperature. To make sure of that, you of course need how you say it, a thermometer. Holy fucking shit! This took a long time to search for the term. A thermometer, right? You need that kind of shit in order to regulate your room that way. And maybe you're not able to with just opening up your window to change the room temperature, which might result in spending some money for an how you say, fuck my life, air conditioning, right? Fucking air conditioning. But this also shouldn't dry out your room, which a dry room is really destructive, which means that you should also use an air quality tracker and a purifier. So a lot of things which you might need to invest a little bit of money into, but they are worth it if you want to maximize your health, if you want to maximize your sleep quality. And the next thing if you want to go all out, you could also use these red bulbs, and also wear red light glasses, right? This is what I call it. No, blue light glasses. So if you also forgot, for example, that you have a phone inside your pocket and you accidentally pull out this phone and try to look at the time, right? Like what is it now? Is it 9? Is it 10? We need to look that shit up, because we are not capable of buying a clock, which you should also look into and buy a clock instead of looking constantly at your phone. Because at the same moment you're looking at your phone, this blue light is distracting your brain neurons and synapses and is completely destroying everything you learned over the day. Which also means that this is a really crucial part, that you always wear these glasses. And another great tip, you heard a lot of devices. Like devices nowadays seem to be crucial for living a healthy life, which makes us all poor, because we all do not have a lot of money. And this is a problem which you can solve if you are looking for secondhand stuff. Also locally, for example, in Germany, there's an app, or there's a service, or there's a website, however you want to call it, where you can look up for things for free, which people just insert, how you can say, to advertise, right? To advertise for free. And people actually do this because some people are stinky rich, and give out things for free. But also sometimes there are not things for free always, but they are cheap, or they still even not like even the cheap alternatives are too expensive for you. Then you need to be kind of creative, right? There's also a way. There's always a way. I wanted to say there's always a way. So the next tip would be silk covers. So silk covers. What is a silk cover? The fucking thing you wrap around your pillow. This should be on maybe also your bed sheets completely, not only the bed sheet for your pillow, but also for your carpet, if you call it carpet. I think, like, I give a fuck. You know what I mean. It should be fully out of silk. You can look this up in the internet. You heard it first from me that if you use silk, your skin looks much better. If you do look at my skin, you shouldn't trust me for anything I say about skin health, because I have a bad skin. But I heard this in the internet, and I kind of trust it. I kind of think that it improved my skin a little bit, but not dramatically. But this is also for min-maxing, like micro-maxing your sleep quality, or like the health of your skin, which is also, I don't know, important. Then you should look up for silk covers from your local drug dealer. So you could also go all out, all out. I think you went all out if you did a lot of it, if you did the half of the things that I already said, right? And invested in half of the things that I told that I like. I do not say you need them, but you can use them if you want. If you want to try them out by yourself, first you need to try. You don't need to trust. You need to try. So there are temperature regulated sheets out there, which you potentially do not need if you just have a regulator for your room temperature, like an air conditioner. But there's also studies for, how is it called? Testosterone, right? Millions of young adults, mainly male, maybe only male, are talking about testosterone. So they are caring about their testosterone levels. But what they are forgetting about, what they forget about, is that they heat up under a carpet. Fuck, I need to look that shit up. Yeah, just a blanket, right? Under your blanket, the temperature is rising. But in your intimate zone down there, this heat is not productive. This heat is counterproductive for your testosterone levels. You can also look that up in the internet if you want more evidence than my own advices. And I would look into a room, and I would look into the science of a sleep room, a room where you only sleep. So this is the advantage, that when the moment you're going into this room, which should also be completely dark, there are even the sleep masters which cover up their windows with even darker material, which you can just like plump onto your windows, so not a single slide of a sunlight is touching your eyes, your holy eyes. And you walk into this room, right? It's completely covered, it's completely dark. It has the perfect room temperature. No light at all. No phone inside this fucking. No phone. And not even an alarm. And temperature regulated sheets. And silk covered sheets. Like temperature covered mattress would be better, right? And silk covered sheets. This is the way around. then you might have mastered your sleep quality. This was the summary. Maybe this was a good summary, right? So if your sleep room is looking like that, the chances high that you wake up and you fell asleep and wake up pretty energetic, and you do not even want to stay in your bed and to snooze because you're so hyped up for the day that you give a shit on, like Moongirl always says. And another thing is that your bed, like this is the last advice I would, or the last tip, or the last example. Better let's talk about this as examples. The last example would be that your bed is hard like a rock, because your muscle structure is also improving if you sleep on a hard surface. Some people put this to the extreme, like we all need to be extreme, right? So we all are crazy extreme people, so they put just an, like, there's where this term is good, like an a carpet onto the floor and just sleep on the carpet, which is not that thick, right? If you think about standard carpets. Um, Other people use just a yoga mat. Again, other people use a pallet. Do you call it a pallet? For example, me, I use this. Yes, a pallet. And sleep on a pallet on a really slim mattress. Like, this is also possible. There are multiple layers and multiple levels of softness, of thickness, which you might also slowly progress. You cannot do all the things I told you right away and implement it in your life, because you will be overwhelmed by the different environment you are putting yourself into, and you're putting your body into, like your mind is putting your body into a different environment, like, to also try to consciously wrap around your head about this phenomenon, which is called free will. And you could progress, and I highly recommend this. But you can do whatever you want with this information you consumed the last 20 minutes. So I hope you gained some benefits out of it. This was my video. It was about sleep. It was about the first bullet point of my agenda, which is also the last, right? This is really, it's the genesis. It's the big bang of my agenda. And yeah, I will slowly reveal more and more about this agenda. It's big, right? Even though it's only a week, right? It's my whole life. If you see it like that, 1 week, 1 life, which means that if I tell you about my 1 week agenda, I will tell you guys about my whole life. So I will tell you that. Look forward to that. Thank you very much for watching. How I say always, 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 always push through pain. Peace.